Welcome gamers and Lords Mobile fans, this is Minnie and this is my channel Minnie Gaming. Today I will be pushing for castle level 25 or C25 as I will be referring to it for the rest of the videos. You can see I just finished the level 18 lumber mill upgrade and I went ahead and started the level 19 upgrade. Throughout the next 3 videos I'm going to try and use all of the willpower that I can muster not to hit that speed up button that is going to taunt me for the next few hours. My goal is to let it get to about 10 to 15 helps before I hit that shiny yellow button. Now, if you're wanting to get the most bang for your buck, then I recommend you waiting until you get the help bar completely maxed. This also is extremely important if you're free to play and are trying to grow fast. Even though it slows you down in that exact moment that you're waiting for the help bar to fill up, it will go farther. So in an active guild, it should only take about 30 to 45 minutes to fill up your help bar, unless you know that everyone's asleep right then. Each help reduces the total time for that upgrade by 1% per help. So while that doesn't sound like a lot, it actually adds up, with some of the research being over 300 days long. So I'll probably only wait about 5 to 10 minutes per upgrade before I hit the speed up button. The main reason, aside from my impatience, is I only want it to take about an hour or two to reach castle level 25. In order to get to castle 25, you need a golden hammer, which I will go into more depth in later in this video. The manor has to be 24, which requires the farm or the food building, depending on what you call it, to also be 24, and the lumber mill to be 24. The infirmary must be 24, which before you can do that, you have to have the barracks at 24, which means that the quarry or the stone building must be at 24. And finally, the castle wall must be at 24, which of course means the workshop needs to be at 24. So the mines or the ore building also have to be at 24. So in total, before you can upgrade to castle level 25, you have to have 9 buildings at 24. So you will see me really trying to be patient throughout probably half of this video and let that help bar fill up before I hit the speed up button. Of course, you can see that I let my guild know that I was doing a C25 push, so they are offering me resources. So that's what that green frame around the screen is. They were kind enough to offer me their resources that they have out of their packs, because all of these upgrades are going to take millions of resources of every type. Of course, I reiterated to them, only pull from what they have out, don't get in their packs, because having resources in your packs is good whenever you're attacking people, because you can heal your troops faster. Just pull that out, and if there's any retaliation, you won't have any extra resources out, because if they break through your wall, they are now able to get to any of your resources, not just your gold. Your gold is what they will get first, and then anything after they break the wall, they can get the rest of your resources. So that's how you get like farm guilds. And those are guilds that have all sorts of resources out and are never protected. So they easily become a farm, and then those people quit because who wants to be attacked all day? So a lot of people think castle level 25 is the hard part to unlocking tier 4, which of course you need castle level 25 in order to unlock T4, but that's not the hard part. The hard part is Academy 25, which, if you do not know what T4 means, it's tier 4 troops. When you start the game, you have tier 1. These are basically useless, but you will want to make it as many of T1 Siege as you can. I recommend 200k. This is because when your castle is attacked, morale is what wins you that battle, and having T1 troops will affect morale negatively due to how easy they are killed. think about it, if you're on a battlefield and you see everybody around you dying, you're not going to want to continue to fight. Same thing with this game. But Tier 1 Siege will not affect the morale in the battle because they're at the back of the line, so they'll be the last to be killed. T1 Siege is the first and the best one to use for gathering resources because they are easy to heal and they don't hurt you if you get tile hit. Of course, tile hitting in Lords Mobile is frowned upon by 90% of the gamers, but it's not, against any rules. So, especially if you're doing Kingdom versus Kingdom, you want to only use Tier 1 to gather. Tier 2 is unlocked at Castle 9 and Academy 9 with research in the military tree. With the right research, Tier 2 is just as strong as Tier 3, but they're cheaper to heal, so you want to use T2 for your defense. You want them to be your first line right behind your battle wall, your castle wall. So that way, whenever they get through your wall, they will get stopped by your Tier 2. So it's best to have about 2 million of these troops, excluding Siege, 2 million each Tier 2 troop. That way it takes 2 to 3 hits before they can break. It can even stop a rally with that many Tier 2 troops. T3 is unlocked at C17 and Academy 17 and research under the military tree. If you are free to play, make as many Tier 3 as you can. If you're pay to play, plan to unlock T4 within a month or two from starting. Just make about 300k each, excluding from Siege, unless you're going to be a rally lead, and then you will need Siege. Tier 4 is unlocked by Castle 25 and Academy 25. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people think that Castle level 25 is the hard part, but like I also said earlier, Academy 25 is the hard part. In order to get to Academy 25, you have to have one of every building at 25, except for the familiar buildings from Skirmish 8, which includes 3 buildings that require special items. These buildings are the Battle Hall, the Prison, and the Altar. Our rule of thumb is 200k gems per one of these buildings. Now that's, again, if you are pushing, that's how many gems it will take. If you're waiting and you're using your Guild Fest rewards, your gift guild items that you get from hunting monsters, then you're not going to need 200k. You can definitely get it done with less. That's why we also suggest going ahead and upgrading your treasure trove if you're free to play first, because that increases the amount of gems that you're going to get back. So the way I explain the treasure trove is basically think of it like a bank that pays you interest. You're depositing your gems in, and in 30 days, 14 days, or 7 days, it's going to send you back more, a certain percentage depending on your research and the upgrade that you have on your treasure trove. Now, you want to make sure when you're buying these special items for the Battle Hall, the Prison, and the Altar, that you want to make sure you are buying the biggest pack. So you want to spend the 10,000 gems for 1,000 of each of those special items for whichever building that is. So in order to get to Academy 25, you will need about 600k gems. That's 200k for all 3 of those buildings. 18 buildings will have to be at level 25. All of those buildings will require a golden hammer, which is only available in the gem shop. And again, you want to buy the bundle, not them individually. So for the hammers, it's 9,000 gems for 5 golden hammers. You don't want to buy that or the special items for the specialty buildings individually, because you will end up spending way more gems than 600k. So I'm sure you're wondering what I'm doing up top there. A guild is trying to recruit a lot of our players, and so we marked them as free range because you don't steal our players. And we're always looking for people to fight. So these guys just unintentionally became our enemies, thinking that they could just sweep on in, grab some players, and go on their merry way, which of course you cannot do. I mean, you can, but you do risk becoming a target for that guild that you are trying to recruit from. They sent that specific player a recruitment letter every day for like 3 days before we went ahead and marked them as free to go, free to fight. So we're doing the last upgrade for the workshop. You can see more people sent me resources. And you can see my patience. Again, wearing thin. So currently we're sitting at about 8th in the kingdom on guild strength. So we have just a small screening process that we do in order to accept people. Most people do. It's just basically, what guild did you come from? We want to see your war gear, and we will check out your stats. And that's pretty standard. Some people have more questions. They want to know how long you've been playing. I don't necessarily care about that because you can always learn. Even now, I've been playing for like 3 years, and I still learn new stuff. Familiars are like my weakness. Don't know. I know about them. I know a lot about them. I don't know as much as I know about the rest of the game about them. And I definitely let my guild know that. They're welcome to ask me questions, and I will go and find the answer. I know plenty of people who have the information on familiars, but the way I see it is everyone in the guild has their role to play, and that's why you need a well-rounded leadership. You want someone who can pick up where you don't have the answers. So that's kind of how our leadership works as well. So you can see that I was looking at how many resources that I had because I'm about to hop on the bank on my other device and send myself resources from there. All major guilds have banks. If you are starting out, don't use this rule of thumb if it's within the first week of the guild, the kingdom, all of that. Use this as a rule of thumb moving forward from that. You don't want to be in a guild that doesn't have a bank. That is a sure sign of they don't know what they're doing. They don't have the time or energy to put into the guild. And there's probably not a ton of experienced players there. The bank is very important because, like I mentioned earlier, when you're attacked, your resources are in danger of getting stolen if they're outside of your packs. So you're going to want to send them to a bank that's always shielded, so it's always protected. This will let you go about your merry day. You can go gather or hunt and get a ton of resources and then just go throw them in the bank. Yeah, there is a tax on them, and some people complain about that, but the more you upgrade your trading post, the less the tax is. So it all balances out, and the way I look at it is, would you prefer to go ahead and pay a small tax on it and lose some resources, or just lose all of your resources? And if too many people in your guild never put resources into the bank, your guild will become a farm guild. So it's very important to teach your players or to understand that you don't want resources out early on. You want to keep them in a bank, and the bank should be a community thing. Of course, monitor it. Don't let someone abuse the power. If they're not putting anything in, don't let them take out, but don't restrict people on what they can pull out. Don't be like, you can only have 1 million resources a day. Some of these upgrades take 27 million of a specific type of resources. in order to upgrade. So you don't want to stifle people, because if you're stifling your guild on what they can and can't use, you're really hurting yourself. So you might be wondering what makes a bank a bank, what makes it different from a regular account. So you can see from this setup that in mini here, I have a 776 formation of the resource buildings and then one farm. You, on a normal account that you're gonna have troops in, you don't want more than one farm. There's no use in it unless you're gonna be a farm hyper, a food hyper. You're not going to ever be food positive. There's just no way unless you have 0 troops. But a food hyper, which is where all of your buildings except for 3 are farms, this allows you to have troops. On one of my accounts that is a bank, I have T4 on it, and I have 300-400k troops on that account, and the only way that I can do that is for the farms to be upgraded past a certain point, and they all work together in order to be food positive. That's what a bank is. It's a food positive account. This means that if they send in resources, my troops won't eat it. So you can see that my food blinks red every few seconds. That's my troops eating the leftover food. They don't touch any of the other resources but food. I know on some games that it is known that your troops are going to eat your food, and starvation is a real thing. Starvation is not a thing in this game. Our saying is, the hungrier your troops are, the more they fight, the better fighters they are. So starve your troops. It's the rule to live by in Lords Mobile. Alright, so you saw just a second ago that I had won some solo awards. So you definitely, if you're doing a push like this, you want to try and match it up with a solo or a hell event. This way you're getting extra resources, you're getting bonus chests, you're getting speed ups, you're getting research speed ups or troop speed ups, you're getting holy stars, sometimes you're getting tokens for the tycoon. Just all this stuff adds up. And so you can see this is a labyrinth event, so I'm definitely not going to do that one because I'm trying to do this right now. And you can see I've got still a little ways to go. The farm and the lumber mill are still at 20, and my infirmary is still at 18. My manor is at 20 as well, so all of this still has to be done, so there's still a little ways to go. We're only 19 minutes in right now, so we definitely have plenty of time. Like I said, the goal is under 2 hours here. I am going to split this up between multiple videos just to, so you can take in the information that I'm saying and apply it and just see how it's going. More resources from the guild. You can see I'm not hitting speed up until I look at what is next and make sure that I have the resources for that. Alright, so the barracks is at 24. Infirmary, there we go. Alright, so a little bit ago we talked about being attacked and you attacking people. So you don't want to start a war with someone right beside you unless you are sure you can win. And I don't mean right now. I mean you are telling them to leave or else. So this is like an all-out warfare type of moment. You want to attack them repeatedly, all within, a 30-minute, and let them know that this isn't going to happen. This isn't going to stop, and it will happen every single day. That it's not very nice, but it is an effective way to get someone out of your area or a turf that you want. But don't do that all the time. You definitely don't want a war on somewhere right beside you. If they can fight back, they will. And, someone said, you don't poop where you eat. That's a great expression, especially here, because, just as it's super easy for you to just march the 1 minute it takes to go and hit them, it only takes them a minute to retaliate. So just be aware of that. So let's see where we're at. Got 4 helps. I'm going to try and be patient. Two more helps, 3 more helps. Alright, so I have 11 upgrades and 2 buildings left. That's alright. I have more than 11 upgrades and 2 buildings left. 5, 10, 18, 25 minus 18, 7, 27, and that's at 22. So there's 24, 31 upgrades left. 4 buildings. So my guild is currently sharing what their troop count looks like. I don't suggest sharing that even within your guild. This is because while they're your guild mates today, not every single person in your guild will be your guild mate tomorrow. And while the guild chat is normally between the people who are always going to be your guild mates, people who are just there passing time or they are spying on you. Yes, this game has spies. Be aware of them, but not wary of them. They really can't do much. Most of your communication should be, over line or Discord. Especially if you're attacking someone, you want to go ahead and just have a voice call, group call going and coordinate. And in which case they won't have the information ahead of time. They're going to get it now. So you see that red plus sign there? That means that I don't have enough resources. So I'm asking for resources. I'm hopping on the bank to send myself more resources. But yeah, so you want to kind of keep your troop count to yourself. That's why I always stick with, you want 2 million of each of these, you want this, that, and the other. I never say what I have. I could have 2 million, I could have 4 million, I could have 100K. You don't know. It also depends on what you want to do. Traps are a different setup in a way. A lot of it's the same, but a lot of it's different. I already told you kind of how banks are set up, just food hypers. And you can have other type of hypers. Food is not the only one. You want to have ore hypers are good. I always seem to run out of ore. Even though I know right now I'm running out of wood. On my other accounts, I always seem to run out of ore. Sorry, I had to run to my car, so just decided to go ahead and skip over that part, so you weren't sitting here for 5 minutes seeing nothing. Go ahead and get that one started. So 3 more upgrades on that building, on the infirmary, and then we need 7 more on the manor and 5 more on the food and wood building. So we will continue that in our next video. Thanks for watching, guys.